This is not financial advice, it's just the wine talking.
Welcome back to It's Just a Wine. I'm your host, Gassia, and today we have our other host, Matilda Taline. And as our special guest, we have my sister-in-law, Alina Meterissian.
Welcome!
Thank you.
So, Alina, do you want to tell us what your win of the week is?
My win of the week. Honestly, I know this is a financial advice podcast, but I'm going to go completely off and I'm going to say that I woke up super early. And whoever knows me, I didn't say why, but whoever knows me knows that I'm not a very early bird. And these two girls here, Taline and Mel, convinced me to come at 7 a.m. at a Pilates class.
Good job.
And I did it.
Honestly,
So proud of you.
I did it.
Cheers
It was
to
tough,
that.
but I did it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
But I went to Pilates and Tal was like, by the way, Alina's coming. I'm like, what? I'm impressed.
Yeah, I took the early class for once.
But one day you're gonna admit that 7 a.m. classes are better than 8 a.m. classes. One day.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
One day, sure.
One day. It's okay.
Well, in today's episode, we're obviously gonna go ahead and interview you with some questions. So why don't we start by, can you introduce us and share a little bit about...
Introduce yourself, not us.
Oh yeah, sorry. Can you introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a CPA. So my background is in accounting, for those who don't know. And so I work in a real estate company. We're kind of management and developers, which mainly it's a company that takes commercial spaces and transforms it into labs. But also like a bit of other diversified tenants. So I see a bit of everything in that. And I do analysis, I do reporting. And since it's a small company, I kind of like see everything, touch everything in the company. So yeah.
But wait, I have a quick question. What do you mean by you transform it to labs?
So basically we find the tenants in that industry and we give them, as Gassia would love to say in French, clé en main. Turnkey space and make labs for them, like companies in science that need labs.
Oh, okay,
so,
actual lab.
Yeah, like labs, yeah, science labs.
Oh, that's
You
pretty
know,
cool.
I think you just got this job like 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's gonna be, almost 2 years, yeah.
First time I'm understanding what you
There
do
you
now.
go, it's nice sometimes to talk about these things, to get to know what I do.
Sometimes you're just like, not afraid to ask, but it's just like, okay, she has a job, she's good, you know, at that.
It's interesting what there is out there. Like I would never think that. Well, obviously there are people who give out spaces to labs, but like specifically developments for labs.
Clé en main. Like,
Clé en main, turnkey, yeah. Well, there's a bit of everything. Like I'm giving you a quick summary of what we do. Yeah.
Nice.
So, can you share a bit about your career path and how you got to where you are today?
Yes, so I guess I'll start with school because that's what got me the CPA. Actually, you would think that I just took a normal path of like business school and all that, but in CEGEP I did sciences because believe it or not,
You want to become a doctor?
No, not really. But in CEGEP, when you don't know what you want, you go into sciences. It opens up the doors. That's what everyone says. That's what all parents say. Go into sciences. You know?
Yeah.
So I did that. I finished that, and then I realized, why am I doing this? I love business and I love numbers. That's what I actually like to do. Like go into the business world, and accounting touches business. Like every business needs an accountant. So that's what I did. I went to university to Concordia. Then I did my CPA, and then, I mean, depends. So career path, I guess first job I had was KPMG, which is a big four. And that's what everyone that gets out of university is told to do. So that's what I did. And then
it's funny actually that you mentioned this, because apparently I overheard somebody say this and talk about this, that when you're fresh out of university, you shouldn't go into a big four company because...
Why?
Because you want to be in a company where you gain experience, and you don't want to depend on that company. You want to be in a big four company when you have a family and you need stability and be. You're basically.
It's a good point.
You want a stable job and not get to.
But unfortunately, like you need your training hours, like work hours, to get your
Yeah.
CPA title. So it's kind of a twisted world where
Yeah,
you
of
have to do
course.
that, even though you're gaining no experience. You know, in reality, like you are, but you're not, because it's so like you're like a number. I find that's the experience I had.
Yeah.
You were kind of like a number. I still loved it. Like, don't worry, KPMG. But I'm just saying that like the people I worked with were fun. You're in a group environment. But you're still young. You're just like listening to people and telling you what to do. You're doing long hours.
The Christmas parties were fun.
Christmas parties were fun. Huh?
We
You guys
went
came to
one.
one.
It was fun.
One.
That was crazy.
Well, that's how they keep you. They gotta
Yeah,
give you some
yeah.
benefits, some
Man.
fun stuff. You know, there were outings, sank assets, things like that. But the work itself was kind of like slave vibes, honestly. And then I guess my career led to me to this new real estate company I'm at, and I needed a change. And through connections,
How long
Good.
were you at KPMG?
almost 5 years. Almost 5
Oh,
years.
wow.
And I always thought about it. I thought of, I should leave, like get in the industry, but it's kind of scary when you're younger and like you're used to something and you're gonna go in the industry where it's completely the opposite. Like at KPMG, I'm auditing. I'm not really doing the financials. I'm just auditing their numbers. Now I'm on the other side, so it's scary. You don't know what you're getting into.
But that's the best time to get into something.
Yeah,
when
you gotta
it's
jump.
scary.
You gotta jump.
You gotta
and,
get yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I thought it was interesting that you said straight from university you went to KPMG and you basically, I mean, straight from college you basically did all of the steps that
Yeah.
you're supposed to do
Yeah, like-
and followed the actual
The traditional path.
exactly.
Yeah, the traditional path.
And I've been reading a book actually, I forget what it's called, don't ask me, I'll get it next time, where it said that it doesn't mean anything.
No.
At the end of the day, you still made the shift to something else because it wasn't really the end goal.
Yeah, for sure. Some people want to stay and become partners. They love it. They love that environment. It's really for them. And some others, I did learn a lot. I learned discipline. That's one thing I learned, that you can work long hours and get your job done for your deliverable times. But yeah, it's not necessarily the traditional road that everyone has to take.
Yeah, but I agree with what you're saying, but also that opportunity led her to hit this job.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know what I mean? So, and in anything we do, it's not a waste.
No.
Even though, yes, things change in life and it shifts because you want to achieve higher and better. So, but it's because of what you've done in the past that has led you here.
Of course, I think everything is a domino effect.
Yeah.
The butterfly effect.
The butterfly.
If one thing doesn't happen, then the other
Yeah.
doesn't. I completely agree with that. But I think what I was saying is more like on a deeper personal level, where that traditional path of doing what you're supposed to do, even if you remove like the professional part of it, like, okay, go to school, get married, buy a house, get a kid, it doesn't mean that that's it.
Yeah.
You have to go deeper, you have to find your true happiness, and that's by exploring, that's by going to see and doing different things and not just being stuck in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you guys said, like everything you go through in life, every step is a good experience and you learn from it. And I did learn. And
That's
I'm
amazing.
happy with my path.
Were you ready to leave?
When I was at KPMG.
Like, were you like
I knew I wanted to leave. When I wasn't sure. And I remember when it happened, when it was all happening, I was in a very like busy time of the year, like with one of my biggest clients, and like it was really like I didn't have time. I didn't want to go to interviews. I'm like, I'll just leave it to a few weeks later, because basically like somebody needed a CPA my boss now, and contacted me, got my number, asked me if I want to do an interview and all, and I said, you know what, I'll do it. Why not? What am I gonna lose? Let me go talk and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because at first I was telling myself, I'm not down for this. I don't want to do the switch right now. But I guess it's fear. It's kind of fear.
Yeah.
It's you're used to something and it's hard to jump out of it and go to something new.
I actually saw this video that you just mentioned that like, let me leave it for next week. So I saw this video. This woman turned 50 years old and she was crying because she's like,
I'll do it next week. I'll do it the week after.
My entire life, I've said I'll do it next year, and I'm 50.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
sad.
entire years went by
Now you went
nothing.
like deep, like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, but like the point is,
Yeah.
it's true. Time passes
Yeah.
by so fast. So if that person hadn't come up with that opportunity, she would have probably left it for the year after as well.
Yeah. To be
Until you
honest,
had
yeah,
that
because
push to.
it is a cycle. When you work at these big fours, there's a crazy busy season and then it calms down in the summer.
Exactly.
So we're like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna have that many hours.
Yeah.
Let me stay there for another summer.
Because you're comfortable.
Yeah, and then
Very hard.
and then once that like September time comes and December it restarts, you can't leave then because you're not a like what a bad employee and colleague if you leave everyone with all the work and you just leave,
Yeah.
you know. So you stay. So it's a cycle, and then they trick you in with like
Yeah.
bonuses at a certain time of the year, so you have to stay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And then time passes.
And then
jump
Bell
is what I was
Center.
saying. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Bell Center? Yes.
Christmas, sorry, I have to say the Christmas parties were at the Bell Center.
Oh wow, that's
Like
really
some
cool.
of the latest.
Full,
yeah.
full.
Who was the singer
After
who was
COVID?
there when
I
we were
remember.
there? The
Red.
Elle had wrote
There was
something.
Charlotte Cardin the first year
Oh,
they did
really?
it.
Oh, wow.
COVID times. Then there was
That girl
Red.
there.
Red.
Yes.
From Montreal.
Wow, that's
artist.
good.
Okay, so how do you apply your role as a CPA in your position today at a real estate company?
Well, I mainly do like analysis and reporting, so which is basically the reporting part is, I build financial statements. We have investors that work with us, so we send them like the reporting package. So that's the accounting part of it. But I apply different knowledge. Like it's not only accounting.
Okay.
Like when people think of accountants, first misconception is, hey, can you do my taxes?
It's true.
And I'm like, I never do. I hate doing my own taxes, like tax season, right? You guys were talking about this in one of the episodes. I should drink the whole wine glass. I think you guys were saying that.
Yeah.
Because I did it, but really, I don't like it at all. So I really don't do taxes at all. And what I focus more on is like the whole development part of the company. So we do a lot of models, analysis, budgeting, your favorite word, budgets,
Yeah, of
budgets.
course.
And different things. It's a small company, so I look at everything. It's not only what you would think is accounting.
Okay, so that's interesting to me because it gives the idea to another
Yeah.
CPA who's maybe in the same position that you were at KPMG, that there are other things you can do
For
while
sure.
you apply.
And I
Well,
feel
we have
like
this
when you're an
title. Yeah.
accountant, like you said it before, you touch the business world a lot because basically that's like the core of a business, basically
Yeah.
taking care of
You have to know like what's happening. You have to know from the construction part to the let's say for my industry to like everything all the way to the end of until the numbers. You have to know what's happening in the beginning to get to those numbers, and
Yeah.
it touches everything.
So when you calculate how much money a real estate project will make at resale, what do you basically look at? Because you're telling me
At
you do
resale.
analysis and how
So
do
usually
you...
we build a model before buying a property. So my boss has a very good intuition, and he finds the projects. I must give it to him. Shout out to him. No name, but he finds good projects, and he has a very good intuition, and whatever his gut feeling, he knows it and he goes for it. And then so I get to the part where he gives me the numbers, he gives me everything, and I build a model. And in this model, you have to look at everything. So you look at all the revenues that a building is going to bring, all the costs from start to end, like cost of buying the property, all the costs. Let's say you need legal fees, you need maybe assessments to see if the property is good. So all the costs, purchase price, costs, and then the revenues over the years, expenses, all of these aspects. So recoverable expenses, non-recoverable. So this is, I do, there's
The
some-
lights just twitched.
Yeah.
There's like a thunderstorm outside.
But yeah, so you have to look at every aspect that goes into your, at the end you need your net operating income. And then with this you can calculate a value of the building at resale. I'm giving you a short.
So I just want to understand. So what you're doing is you're assessing a building that your company is buying,
Yeah.
a commercial building,
Yeah,
and you're seeing if it's worth it.
yeah. And you asked me about resale, so that would be like our last step. So how much money are we gonna make, right? If we go ahead with this project, how much money are we gonna make? So yeah, so we look at it over 5 years, maybe over 10 years.
Okay, so you're basically forecasting.
Yeah, I forecast. Yeah, so you have to whatever like the investors want to see, you make it for them, and for financing purposes too. You need to make those models.
I don't know, like this is actually I know you have a few investments, so do you use this strategy to do your own investment?
Great question. To be honest, so these are more commercial units, commercial properties, but it's the same thing. Like anything like for yourself, you budget for yourself, you budget for a building. You know, like you need all of these things, and you can use it. You can revenues, expenses, net operating income. That's what you have to do to see what's going to be the value. There's a lot of things happening.
Stuff. It's the weather.
But yes, I can use it for myself, which is nice.
So yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask. You use a tool that, or do you have like a template you can share? That
maybe it's the companies, but like
no, what I mean, like to give, let's say an average person, let's say me, what should I look out for when I want to buy, let's say, a rental property?
Yeah.
And I know you're doing commercial, but like you said, it could be like similar because the main things that you're looking at, you know, could still be applicable for
an
investor.
So I was lucky because the company I went to kind of already had a template, and we always adapted to whatever project that we have. So you add stuff, you remove stuff, and like we can use a template, you know, for personal projects too, and which is similar to that. It's knowledge I learned that I could use for myself too.
Exactly. I feel like I feel like a lot of people work in industries, but they just work to work, and they don't actually use the knowledge they have to use it for their own personal growth, you know?
It's funny because you guys asked me my career path, but one thing I forgot to say is that like all my life I've seen real estate. My dad was in real estate, my brother is in real estate, so it's funny that I'm also in real estate, and we used to work for 3 different like competitors at one point. And it did influence me, you know, even in my own investments. Like I saw my dad do it, I saw my brother do it, we did it together, so it's nice. It's like my job.
Grew up with
it's also what I see. It's kind of my life now. It's all I see.
I find like when you see it at a young age, you want to do it as well. Like for example, my parents never jumped on it because they were too scared, because like, you know, is it risky, is it not, is it the right one? So that's why they never did it.
I mean, they did it.
Now they did.
But it's
now they did.
It's
no,
like
but what I'm saying is before
growing up.
But growing up I never saw it. But right now they're doing it.
It's okay.
But to your point, your surroundings has so much influence on.
It really does.
Exactly.
Your philosophy.
Your brother got my parents into.
Exactly. You see, like if you're around around people, it makes you like want to do it.
You gotta share the knowledge.
Exactly.
And help everyone.
It's
like a lot of selfish.
It's like how do you spread it? The influence somebody has on
like my boyfriend. Like my boyfriend, he doesn't like. He's more of a finance guy. Like he focuses more on stocks and this and that. He doesn't know real estate, right? Yeah. But
his parents are not in it either. You know?
No, exactly. So they haven't seen it exactly like us. But now they are. My parents.
As long as you start at one point.
One day. Yeah.
So, do you invest in the stock market when you're looking at a company? How do you decide if it's worth investing in it?
A company. It's a great question. Honestly, we've been talking about real estate a lot, and that's what I know more than the stock market. But you know what? I ask Mel here. I ask her, what do you think? What's your like? You know, everyone has their knowledge base. She gives me advice. It's nice.
She messages me like twice a year.
Hey Mel, it's me again.
But you know what? I love it. You know, out of everyone.
Hey, me too. I ask you.
I know, but she's the first person who like asked for my advice. Not that like.
Because I know you read and you do your research, and you love it too. I think like you're actually passionate about it. I find so it's nice.
Yeah, I love it, but
different people have a different set of knowledge in different areas, and that's just
exactly fact. People that know so much more than I do, and I'm gonna be asking them too. So it's like we're in the same boat.
So yeah,
So I love that you're asking.
Yeah, of course. So I ask, she gives me her advice. She tells me, oh, this stock, that stock, this stock. I don't blindly go and buy them, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I go and I do my little check. You know, I check the summary. I see how they're doing. Kind of check at the map of what's happening this year, in the month, in the 6 months. And it's a bit of like, I find it's a bit of a gamble, but just gotta do it properly.
That's
and
life.
It's a myth, huh? It's a myth.
But
If you know what you're doing. If you don't know,
Yeah.
it becomes a gamble, I think.
It
Yeah.
depends what you're investing in, I think. Like if you're doing like the super long-term game, and I don't think that's a gamble, but if you're
Yeah.
doing like individual stocks and you're, you know,
Some stocks are very volatile, like up
Yeah.
and down. Lately, like what's going on in this world with everything that's happening,
So
very
that's why I'm
volatile.
scared of investing in stocks.
But you know what? It's a risk you have to take.
No, but you
Yeah.
could take the risky ones, and then like the ones that are, what do you call it, risky and safe.
Risk,
like a low risk.
Huh,
Like a-
low,
yeah.
that was, low risk or risk. Like I have,
There's even medium risk. Like it all depends
Yeah.
on the numbers and
Your
the
risk level.
like the
the
Red-
evaluation of the company.
like the Reddit one you had asked me to. That's like medium risk because it's still
No,
expensive.
it's high.
Yeah, like
High risk.
It's
I-
high risk.
Yeah.
The
I was like gonna go and see, and I
it's
was-
not that high. It's like medium, but
Yeah.
it has IPO'd. I think it hasn't been a while that they IPO'd,
Yeah.
so that it's new to the market.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
not
risk.
like it's been
It is,
It's
yeah.
not like it's
Yeah.
been in the market for years and years and years where it's at a growth stage. Like
Yeah.
it's settled. It's not.
But
it's
I
in
think-
a growth stage.
I think if you're doing those kind of trades,
Yeah.
You need to figure out an amount that you're comfortable
Yeah,
with,
for
Yeah.
sure.
and be
Sorry, guys, I'm
okay with
Yeah, I'm hot too. I'm getting.
like losing that money
Yeah.
if the case may be.
right now is not
But-
the time for me.
The rule of thumb is actually 1% of your portfolio.
Yeah.
1% of your portfolio you want to risk.
But if you don't take risks, honestly, you have to take risks to make money sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but
Our parents did.
Yeah, like even when I look at my boss, like sometimes us, like the financial people, the group behind it, we're looking at numbers like why, you know, like we're not sure. Maybe we always try to tell him like, are you sure? And he's like, he has in his gut, he's like, yeah, let's do it. He takes a risk, and it's
Yeah.
working. Like it's getting bigger and bigger, the company, and I think it's a bit like kind of in stocks too.
Yeah.
yeah.
You lose some, you win some.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even
100%.
like my boyfriend's boss, he's like sometimes my boyfriend says sometimes he says things I'm like, are you okay? Like it's very intense. But anyways,
Calculated risk.
Yes.
Not just
Yeah,
jumping into it.
exactly.
Calculated. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, so going back to investments, do you want to like? I know you spoke about it a little bit, but would you want to like talk about like how you started,
Like
and how
my
it's
own
go-
investments?
Yes, your personal investments.
So like I said, I saw it in my family. I was influenced. Like for me, this is a whole debate you guys have had, but renting versus owning. You know, there's this whole thing, and my dad had always told me like, you know, don't rent. Like buy. This is how you'll make money. Buy properties. And well, I'm acting like bought. I haven't bought that much, but which you know, I'm actually like tapping myself a bit because I should. I'm been on a lazy couple of months where I'm not really going hard at it, but I do have a condo where I live with my best friend that we bought together. I have another one with my brother, and a lot of people actually said, "My God, you're buying with your friend." They were like, "Oh, what? Like that's such a crazy idea. Why would you do that? What if you guys like something happens? What are you gonna do?" But it worked out, you know.
Yeah.
We were friends from a very, very, very long time, so
That's
gonna
good.
happen. We believed in it, but yeah. So slowly, you know, growing the portfolio. But I have to jump into it a bit more. Like I have to go
Yeah.
for it.
When the right property shows up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for that, I need to look for
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
If I don't search for it, it's
Because
not
nowadays, it's crazy.
there is. You just have to find it. You have
Yeah.
to be alert. You have to
Yeah.
go search.
So you can hire me. I'm always on Centrist looking.
Yeah, good.
The other day she sent us a property, and then my cousin goes, "Didn't you already buy a house?" And then she goes, "I know, but I always like to go see."
All right. That's
People who have looked at a house for a while
Oh, yeah, like
just
you.
have I'm not looking. So, but just have the habit of like going on Centris. I have a friend, she came over for dinner the other day. She bought her house this, I think it was in November. She's like, so every morning I wake up, I go on Centris. I'm like, but you bought your house. She's like, no, it's just, I've been looking for a house for 3 years. That's just part of my day now.
Oh my God. But even when I go for a walk, I don't know why, I feel like you get to
look.
I always see like, oh my God, it's on sale, and I go on Centers right away. I'm like, oh my God, it's nice. Oh, it's not nice. And then like I look at the price. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Just so
Fun
you
to
could
see
like educate
comparables
yourself
and
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Gassia
That's-
hired.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get a brokerage license.
She's some.
Hey, why not?
Honestly, I think you should.
You got into it.
I think you should
Real
scrap.
estate?
No. I think you should scrap accounting and you should start doing like interior designer, because this girl,
we
she's
went
something
somewhere
else. Yeah.
Interior designer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
feel like
she's
you'd be
really
good.
good, honestly, and like any idea anybody will give, she won't take it, and she'll go with her own, and it will end up looking really nice. Sorry, off topic, but
Do it.
Good to know.
Something you need in
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah.
Knowing how to
exactly.
furnish it and
Maybe.
make it nice.
You
couple
can
of
start
years.
that on the side too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe organizing. I like organizing.
Oh yeah, she's a Monica Geller. This one. I think worse. Anyways.
We just find you 5 new jobs.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna find
Yeah,
her,
exactly.
find her an investment property, designing and organizing it for,
There you
your,
go.
Organizing, yeah.
for your renters.
See, it's like one stop shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for coming.
We got to know you more in depth, like as you know, I know you for like 6 years,
Oh.
but this was more like intimate. So thank you so
This
much for
was
coming,
Super fun.
Cheers.
and I hope you had fun as well.
And good luck on your financial journey.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So like, subscribe, comment, and share, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.